political fever is rising across the country, and more so in Kinkizi West in southwestern Uganda, where young men and women are rising up to take positions of leadership. And one of them is Brian Atuhaire Batenda. He's a young man of confidence and courage. And he is telling the people of Kinkizi West that here I am. Send me to represent you. Brian Atuhaire Batenda is on UGRS. And so, welcome, Brian. With all respect, you're a young man.
Yes.
Why are you plunging yourself in a chaotic field of politics?
I've been there for 16 years.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're not young.
No, I participated in politics when I was 16 years. So it's not something that I have not been part. I've been part, you can call me the Kadogo of the struggle. So if I'm a Kadogo of the struggle and I'm 32, it means I'm old enough to be a member of parliament.
You know, Kinkizi West has been represented before by men of substance, and I'm not doubting your substance. So it appears the people of Kinkizi have been electing slightly older men, people with a wealth of experience in politics. Could they look at Brian and say, okay, let's try him?
The people of Kinkizi West, like other parts of Uganda, they know that they are not liberated. They are partly in the struggle. In 2006, our men there in 2001 were maimed. They don't have eyes because of an election. So you cannot say that a child of a product of that therefore keeps quiet about those injustices that have been taking on in Kinkizi West for long. Our people drink water with elephants. There's no electricity. So what are you talking about to be substance all this long?
Are we talking a constituency of Kinkizi that has political titans of Uganda, that at one point had Yone Bamama Mbabazi, that in the other part of Kinkizi you have Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, and all the other giants of Uganda that come from your place, that you do not have drinking water?
What is the importance of being a giant when your people are sharing water with elephants? If you're a giant, they must be questioned. What is being a giant if children in that constituency can't go to school? What's being a giant when children are stunted? What's being a giant there? What's giant about them? The size? The age?
So what do you want to do differently so you think the people can actually get dividends from the leadership of Brian? Because I suppose you're not in the NRM Party, and the NRM controls the budget, they appropriate the funds, and if you don't have the money appropriated to help your people, using the party influence, Brian, you're cooked and out.
That is what they should know. They have had NRM for all these years, they have nothing. Rukunjuch has voted otherwise, has something to show for it. There was a road that was supposed to be constructed from Mtungamo to Kanungu. When Dr. Bezje contested, they constructed up to Rukunji. From there, Kanungu is dusty. But, not forgetting that I have chosen a part to play in the struggle to liberate Uganda. To liberate Uganda from the fangs of the poisonous NRM regime. Because if we don't do that, even if they have me as the MP, they'll get nothing. Because NRM cannot produce anything for Ugandans, apart from lying around and masquerading around that they are producing.
But you know,
things.
You can walk around, talk all these things and make sense, but you end up making sense to yourself.
It's good to make sense than saying no sense and winning an election, by the way. It's very important that people know what affects them. And they know it, they affect them. So they choose, they make a choice between wrong and right, between death and life. If they choose life, they live. If they choose death, they die. In my language, they say, the one who hangs himself, people don't cry for them.
So the people of Kinkizi West,
they have a choice to make.
Before they put a noose on their neck, so we shouldn't cry for them.
Yes. Now, if they get a rope into their necks and hang themselves using a barrel, don't cry for them.
You have no emotions over Kinkizi West.
Because we tell them what it is, not what it ought to be. The problem with the politicians in Uganda is trying to appease. For example, people say, I am FDC or I am opposition, but because my people are NRM, I must be NRM to win the vote. No, a leader must tell people where to go and where it is better. A leader should not follow people. People can only advise.
How come your colleagues, for example, in the opposition and specifically in FDC, and quite a big chunk of them come from the area around Rukunjiri, have not really been able to change the mindset of the people in your area?
They have, but like I said, Kanungu is a different terrain. The most violent election have ever happened in Uganda, I think, is the election between James Musengugaruga FDC then versus Amama Mbabazi. That court case, if you went to read through it, you would see that actually the violence that was animated on our people there was frightening.
So what is your medicine for the violence?
To tell people that are going to organize them. Because even Rukunjiri is talking about, we lost Kakuru the other day in Rukunjiri. So you cannot say that Rukunjiri people have had liberation work. They also still suffer the same consequences. What you ask them is to be more firm and be more focused and resolute and vote out the junta.
So you mean you're telling them to prepare, meaning what?
I am telling them to prepare their mindset, their knowledge, and even their bodies physically, because there will be physical harm. I don't want to hide them. They have been shot, I told you. People don't have eyes because of elections in Kanungu, in my constituency. Like I said, in 2001, the election between Musengugaruga and Mbabazi, which I think then you are active, you know it was the most violent election in Uganda almost. That's not talked about. So you must tell them, they must be aware of the violence and therefore see how to curb it and how to work in those turbulent times.
How are you going to run against people who have quite deep pockets?
Deep pockets. I am running for MP. I'm not running to be the richest businessman in Kanungu. Businessmen should go to business. I'm a politician.
You are not convinced that money is a big issue in Ugandan politics today?
Money is a big issue in every democracy, not only in Uganda.
So how are you going to do that?
I have some little money to run. I have money to have a car. I have money to have my posters. I don't have money to bribe because any bribery is prohibited. So I won't bribe. Unless you're saying that, Brian, you don't have money to bribe. But for money to campaign, I have. I can campaign. I am campaigning. You see.
So what exactly would you want to do for Kinkizi West?
That one, Kinkizi West is a very rich constituency. They border Congo. They border two important national parks. They have Queen Elizabeth. They have Bwindi, the National Forest and Park that has gorillas. They have lions on the other side, climbing lions. So money from tourism, for example, for areas around parks, their share of the money is never appropriated, never goes back to the people. The poorest people in Kanungu are those ones that live near natural resources, which shouldn't be the case.
But there are some royalties that's supposed to come to them, that comes to them.
How does it reach the local man? Like the whole corruption in Uganda happens if the junta is stealing money from here in Kamara. When it goes to the district, it's also stolen from there. Every person is waiting to see where to tap from to steal. So the money never reaches. It is swindled before it reaches the people.
So Brian, you have the confidence right now that you have the momentum and you can actually carry the day in Kinkizi West?
I am going to win that election.
That confidence, where is it coming from?
From the people. Our people know. They know. They know how they have been mishandled. They know how they have suffered. They know that if they have ever survived, because if there is a constituency that has been loyal to NRM, it's my constituency. But who are they to remain saying NRM is good? When basically their neighbor said NRM was bad, they said that one is maybe joking. But last time, their MP came and told them NRM is bad. Mama Baba told them. So who are they to say they are NRM?
Yeah, because the NRM says that's their election firewall. It can never be breached.
No, we are going to go into the waters, and when the swimming is done, I'll emerge, and others would have drowned, and then NRM would have drowned. Kanungu is going to be blue.
You're not swimming against the current yourself?
No.
Look into the eyes of the people of Kinkizi West and talk to them in Ruhororo, in Ruchiga.
Abantu ba Kanungu ndenda ngumugire obuhamye kandi mugira amani go kugira ngo empinduko mu rundogo eraza kwisha turaza kutambura hamwe turonda karuru paka aho turakasingira mwebare mnonga.
And there you have heard him. He's a young man talking like a dynamite. He's full of courage, full of hope, and quite inspiring. I'm sure he'll be coming to your doors or wherever you are, So please put questions to him, understand his manifesto, so that you can take your pick from an informed position. Whether it's Brian or somebody else, it's your choice, Kinkizi West. And that's it from UG Race 2021.